السادسة مساء بتوقيت مدينة ديترويت المحلي. أيها السيدات والسادة، الآن مع الساعة الثانية لبرنامج أسعد كلاشو الأسبوعي الحواري. Good evening to you once again, my dear listeners. It is about 6 o'clock here in Detroit metropolitan area, and you are listening to the Asaad Kalasho weekly radio talk show. Shlamalohu, Ramshohu Hawabricha, إلى الشتب عاصرت آخا بمدينة ديترويت. بشؤمي مكملا نورزة دي اديو.
My name is Wissam Naum, and I'm a product of the American dream. In 1986, my parents had a choice: continue to struggle through the brutal Iran-Iraq war and persecution of Christians, or come face the great unknown here in America. Thankfully, they chose America, but it wasn't always easy. Growing up, my parents worked around the clock to put food on the table, so my sisters and I worked just as hard to make good on their sacrifices. I went on to college at Wayne State University and to study law at the University of Michigan. And after that, I wound up in Chicago to start my career as a finance lawyer, eager and excited to make my mark. But what I saw when I got there shocked me. I worked on mergers and acquisitions where layoffs, it seemed, were just a standard part of the equation. And seeing how the sausage was actually made really bothered me and pushed me to take a good look around. Sure, the economy was humming, but big banks were defrauding millions of their customers, and CEOs were pulling in record bonuses, while those same companies refused to give any of their workers meaningful raises. At the same time, politicians were rigging election maps and hiding shady emails from the public. I knew then that the basic building blocks of the American dream were under attack. Looking back at my childhood here in Sterling Heights, I remember a different dream. This is the house I grew up in, and over there, that's the porch where Mr. Williams, a World War II Navy pilot, used to teach me U.S. history every Sunday morning before my family went to church. This is the neighborhood where good old-fashioned street hockey taught a brown boy with a funny name what the U.S. motto, E pluribus unum, really meant. This is a neighborhood where kids learned democratic principles by voting on whether to play baseball or basketball, while their parents made an honest living working honest jobs. Walking around Sterling Heights these days, you get the feeling that things now just aren't the way they used to be. I mean, take a look around you. Pharmaceutical companies are jacking up the prices of life-saving opioid overdose medicines. Foreign companies like Nestle are making billions of dollars off pure Michigan water that actually belongs to all of us. And you'll realize the American dream looks more like a rigged game of the haves versus the have-nots. Now, I don't know about you, but that doesn't sit well with me. It's time we stood up to political corruption in Lansing and corporate greed across Michigan. It's time we took back our government and built an economy for all of us. It's time we restored the American dream. I came home to give back to my hometown, my state, and my country that gave me and my family so much. And today, I'm honored to announce my campaign for state representative of the people of the 30th District of Michigan. Join me and restore the people. Thank you.
هذا هو صوت المرشح لعضوية مجلس نواب ولاية ميشيغان من الحزب الديمقراطي في مقاطعة رقم 38، وتشمل كل من مدينة ستيرلينغ هايتس بالكامل. سيد المحامي وسام نعوم إنسان مثقف متعلم خدوم وملتزم، يحب شعبه والإنسانية. خدم مجانا لشهور في قضية المحتجزين العراقيين في دائرة الهجرة. يرغب في الاستمرار في خدماته. يطلب منكم دعمه والتصويت لوسام نعوم. أنا أسعد كلاشو وأطلب منكم وأدعوكم للتصويت لصالح المحامي وسام نعوم. أنا أؤازره بالتمام والكمال. أسعد كلاشو لوسام نعوم. If it's Saturday in Detroit, it is the Asaad Kalasho weekly radio talk show. The most listened and the most talked about radio program among the Middle Eastern communities. the number one show for years and continue. The Asaad Kalasho weekly radio talk show comes to you every Saturday at 5 o'clock on WNZK 690 AM in Detroit. مساء الخير عليكم أيها الأحبة، مساء الخير عليكم وين ما أنتم. بالفترة الأخيرة أحبتي سمعتوا إعلان من البرنامج مالتي، برنامج أسعد كلاشو، والإعلان هو عن مرشح لمجلس نواب ولاية ميشيغان، يعني مجلس النواب بولاية ميشيغان. والرجل أو الشخص هذا اسمه وسام نعوم. فأنا أعلنت الإعلان أكثر من مرة، وأيضا كنت موجه دعوة فيما سبق لحضور الحملة الانتخابية مالته اللي حضرها عدد كبير غير متوقع في حقيقة الأمر، وسويناها في مطعم سحارة في حينها. اليوم راح ألتقي بوسام المحامي وسام، وهو رسميا مرشح لانتخابات عضو مجلس نواب ولاية ميشيغان. وسام مرشح نفسه عن الحزب الديمقراطي، وكثير من أبناء شعبنا لا يفقه الفرق ما بين الجمهوري والديمقراطي، بالأحرى هم كلهم نفس الشيء مثل ما نقول، ولكن منو يعمل. So therefore, dear listeners, you have heard lately a commercial, a campaign commercial that I play on my show for Mr. Wissam Naum, who is running for a state rep. And Wissam is a lawyer, and he's running as a Democrat. Our community is known to be more Republican, and that is because of some Republican stands and ideologies. But to me, they're all the same, unless they do a good job. What is a good job? We'll talk. Wissam, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
كل زين.
Thank you for having me.
قل لنا أنت من وسام. Who is Wissam?
Wissam is a person that grew up in our community here in Michigan. I grew up on 14 and Ryan in Sterling Heights, and my parents are from Iraq. They are both Chaldean Catholic. My dad is actually half Armenian as well. His Armenian family fled from Mardin, Turkey during the genocide and went to Baghdad, where they met his father's side of the family, who are Turkipnaya, and they established themselves in Karada in Baghdad. My mom is mostly Suriye from Diyarbakir in Turkey, but their family fled the genocide during World War I too, and they ended up in Basra. And my parents met in the 70s at the University of Basra, and they got married. And then during the Iran-Iraq War, they fled Iraq, went to Kuwait, and then eventually found their way to the U.S. And then I was born here in 1988.
خل بس أشرحها. يعني أمك من ديار بكر بالشمال.
Her family, yeah.
جنوب تركيا، شمال العراق. وأيضا كانوا معرضين إلى القتل الجماعي والقتل الجماعي اللي ارتكبوه الأرمن، وبعدين ارتكبوه العثمانيين أيضا. العثمانيين بحق الأرمن وبحق المسيحيين الآخرين، الأرمن المسيحيين. وثم التقوا هم بالجامعة بالبصرة بجنوب العراق، يعني من شمال العراق لجنوب العراق. بعدين جابوا ولد مثلك بأمريكا. وقلت أنه your mom is a سوريثا. شحيثة قصده. Yeah, of course. So بابو خيله من تلكيبة، يمو خيله من شمال من سرايد دمشي حايد عراق، وايتي تخويا خبقاو دبريكا. It's a nice combination.
It is.
It's a very nice combination. This is what reflects our community.
It is.
It's a reflection of a solid community presentation. So, where are you running for? Which district?
So I'm running in the 30th district, which is the western half of Sterling Heights, which is there's a lot of Suraya, a lot of our community there. It's the community that I grew up in. 14 Orion is there as well. And then it's got Utica, and then a little bit of Shelby Township to the north.
So in that area, there's lots of our people, Chaldeans, Assyrians, Syriac, Armenians, and that's what we call Sarai.
Yeah,
Shihai, because you gotta basically bring them all together.
Of course.
Rather than identifying one person against the other.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is what I look for.
Mm-hmm.
We look for a containment of all of our people.
Yes.
Together.
Mm-hmm.
In one goal.
I agree.
What is your goals?
My goals are to, number one, protect our community, make sure that we have a voice, and then to make sure that we as a community have a positive impact on Michigan in general, and that we can sort of uplift the rest of the state as well, and the people that live around us.
وسام، قبل ما ترشح نفسك كنت أنت محامي في مكتب كبير جدا بشيكاغو. شنو اختصاصك بالمحاماة؟
So I was a corporate finance lawyer in Chicago after I graduated from the University of Michigan Law School. I went there and practiced for 4 or 5 years. I worked on large-scale mergers and acquisitions with, big banks, big companies, and sort of made sure that those deals were done appropriately by the law and made sure that they served our communities.
يعني أنت لما اشتغلت بهذا البنك الكبير شنو كان اسمه المكتب المحاماة اللي
McGuire Woods.
They represent huge corporations.
Huge corporations. I mean, they're one of the biggest countries. There's 1,000 lawyers at that law firm, for instance, all over the world.
Right.
I was in their Chicago office, and they represent gigantic businesses, big banks, anything you can think of that's sort of big in the corporate world. They've had a part of that.
Lately, there is a huge involvement of our community since June of last year,
Mm-hmm.
and that is the immigration situation of forcing deportation on literally 1,400 Iraqis from all religious and all ethnic backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
And you were involved.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, let me take you back a little bit. I've been involved in the community since 2007, and I'll give you a little story about what happened there.
Sure.
So, my mother's cousins, and you'll recognize one of the names here, but they were living in Baquba in 2007. And during the summer, I think they were teachers. It was 2 brothers. They were going to get their stipend or their paycheck for the summer from Baghdad, so they went on a bus down to Baghdad. And while they were on the bus, a militia stopped the bus. And they came and they checked everyone's IDs, and they were, of course, Muslim. And what they did was, we don't know what extremist or radical terrorist faction they were a part of, but they pulled my 2 uncles off the or my 2 cousins off the bus because they had Christian IDs.
I see.
And then they basically made them kneel on the road, and then they shot them.
And we've seen those sceneries numerous of times.
Yes.
And they take pride of that when they shoot those innocent people.
The extremists, yes, the terrorists, they like to instill fear into a community like ours.
And they make everybody look bad as a human being.
Yes, they make their religion as a whole look terrible. They make the region, the country, they make everything look like it's chaos and bad.
So what's that got to do with your involvement with immigration here?
Well, that started my involvement in the community, because at that point I was very young and I didn't necessarily understand why that happened, but I understood how it impacted my whole family.
I see.
And I knew then that I had to get involved. I couldn't just sit on the sidelines. So, in 2008, we founded an organization that started to work with our community called Irutha. It promoted unity among our different religious sects, like the Chaldean Catholic Church, the Assyrian Church of the East, the 2 Syriac churches.
So you're working closely with the churches?
Yeah, we were always working hand in hand in the churches.
Sure,
we did our turkey drives through the churches in Oak Park. We always worked side by side.
Right. Here is a good question that forces me to ask you. The deportation crisis that our community faced since June of last year until now, as we speak today, which is basically the last few days of April, today's Saturday. What have you learned of our immigration laws federally?
They are not good.
They're not fair.
They're not fair. It's very difficult for community members to, number one, get here, especially now. It's a very difficult process for them to get their green cards and then to eventually get citizenship. It is very, very, very difficult. And then you find out that there are a number of issues. There's an interplay with sort of criminal law that most of our community members weren't aware of. And so to see, people that, grew up in Detroit, came here when they were 1 and 2, got in a little bit of trouble when they were kids, and to see that, 20, 30 years later, the federal government could come after them and kick them out because of something that they did 20, 30 years ago is frankly very scary.
So since then, there was literally like an emergency room. You guys put together, you and Nadine and Nora.
Yeah.
And work day and night for voluntarily for free with other good people around you.
Yeah. So we, had been involved in the community for a long time, as we talked about before. Right. And what ended up happening that day, it was June 11th. We'll never forget it. That morning, Nathan and I started to get a lot of phone calls about this. And people were upset. People were scared. And we didn't really have a good sense of what was going on. But as the day progressed, we learned more and more. We started to hear that the arrests were starting to number in the hundreds. They were picking people up at their houses, people on their way to church. And so we started to get very concerned, like this became a serious thing. But it wasn't until my friend Amir called me that I went to college with at Wayne State. And he called me and said, "Wissam, they have my brother. Can you please do something?" And at that point, it was real. It was someone that I knew. Right. And then right after that happened, I saw the Facebook Live videos of the men coming off the buses and the women screaming and screaming and crying and so on. And so I called Nathan, your son, and we got on the phone and we brought Nadine and Nora into the conversation. Dylan was there too, and we started talking about what can we do. So I got on the phone with IRAP, which is a national organization that does immigration work, and they fought the Trump administration on a number of issues already. And Nadine and Nora started talking to their friends at the ACLU. And so when we finished those phone calls, we had a bit of a plan. They told us that they wanted to work with us on a legal fight, that we would file lawsuits to stop this. And, the first thing they told us to do was, you need to organize. You need to find all the families. You need to get them down there. You need to get all the information you can. And then from there, we can start to build a legal case.
بس هذا الموضوع يعني تحقيق كبير. It's a huge accomplishment. Because you're talking about a huge bureaucracy when it comes to immigration, laws that are so complicated, an administration that is against you, and judges that you don't know which judge is going to be and to say what and to decide what. So you were basically fighting huge monsters in your process.
Yeah, we were a ragtag group of volunteers. I think, we ended up getting about 30-some people from our community and others coming into the school at Keys Grace to just organize, to start working with us. And lawyers started coming in. And actually other communities sent their help too. So the Muslim community was the first community that reached out to us here to send us lawyers. The Hispanic community in Southwest Detroit contacted us, and they said, we'll open our churches for your people.
Right.
And a number of things started to happen like that. But yes, we were facing a huge monster. I mean, the weight of the U.S. administration fighting you on immigration policy, which is mostly in their hands and out of Congress's hands, that's a beast. And a small group of lawyers and a small group of volunteers working with others in the community were able to file the proper lawsuits we needed to stop the administration in their tracks.
And you won every time?
We've won every single time. Every motion, every argument.
Till today?
Till today.
So there was an argument just 2 days ago in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
How did that go? I know Nadine and Nora was there. I don't know if you had the chance to go.
I did not have a chance to attend. Nadine and Nora were there because they're actually working on the case as co-counsel with the ACLU.
With ACLU.
So they they faced very difficult questions from the panel of judges.
Judges of three panel. Judges of three.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's how the Sixth Circuit works.
Right.
So they're the ones that review what Judge Goldsmith decided.
So if they decide, they will put their opinion in writing and send it back to Goldsmith? Is that how it works?
They will basically either confirm what he's done or reverse what he's done in certain parts. It really depends.
I see. Well, I'm trying to take you where, and let the community know, يعني أريد الناس تعرف أنه لما واحد مثلك ومثل المحامين الآخرين اللي اشتغلوا بقضية الهجرة والإميغريشن والتسفير، هذه قضية معقدة، هذه مو شغلة لعب، يعني قضية معقدة، قضية متشابكة، قضية موت وحياة، يعني it's a life or death basically.
Yes. Yeah.
and to win وتفوزوها كل مرة، يمكن 9 مرات انتوا فزتوا، يعني كل مرة انتوا فزتوا، كل مرة انتوا غلبتوها. هذا يعني يجي شخص، تتصور انت المفروض انه تصير عضو مجلس نواب ميشيغان ولا عضو مجلس نواب في الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية بواشنطن. So if you think that you should run for a state rep or for the U.S. Congress, I mean, this is a huge accomplishment.
It is, but for me, I have a certain loyalty to the community as a whole and to what I view as Michigan's community.
Is there anything that going on in Lansing for that reason?
There's a number of things. So at the state level, there's a number of issues that are facing our community that sort of we don't really talk about or really address. And what's going on federally with the immigration fight, yes, is a big issue. But right now, I mean, for me, in terms of my accomplishments and what I want to do, I want to focus on the state first.
Sure.
And so
شنو الموضوع?
There's a couple things related to our community. The first one that everyone knows and talks about is the infrastructure issue. I mean,
الشوارع.
Yeah, the potholes are bigger than Tirkepe.
Yeah, I almost had an accident just now.
Yeah. When you listen to politicians, they talk about it, but no one really offers a plan to, number one, fund the roads, and then number two, fix the roads. We're actually working on a policy right now that we'll be releasing soon that will address sort of not only do we want to do this, but how are we going to do this? So we'll be releasing that pretty soon.
Do we have enough funds?
No. There is a deficiency of $8 billion, from what I'm understanding. To
fix our roads?
To fix our total infrastructure.
Bridges, roads, and highways.
Water pipes and everything. So
$8 billion? $8
billion is the deficiency.
Is there a way of making up that money, bringing that money up?
There are ways. You can...
Private sector, maybe?
There are ways, basically, that you have to... Number one, the state is sitting on a lot of money that they're not releasing to local cities and counties to work on roads.
A lot of money meaning how much?
In the billions. We have a rainy day fund that they're not releasing to the public, so to speak, so that we can start... I mean, the roads are a major issue, and it is, to us, a life and death issue if you're driving, and they're not releasing that money. So local revenue sharing is what they would call it.
And part of the district that you are going to represent, which is Sterling Heights, I think they're asking the residents there for an extra tax of $149 per household.
Yeah, they are. They are putting in a one-time millage, basically, which is a tax to basically fund fixing the roads.
But since there is money in Lansing, why not bring that money to the local government?
Governor won't release it.
What's your position on that? شنو موقفك انت?
I mean, I would prefer to not add taxes to individuals in the working and middle classes. There is a 4.25% static tax for everyone. I think you could apply that in a way that would, apply to sort of big major businesses, for instance, not small businesses, but the major businesses that are coming in and playing. You could tax them a more progressive tax that would make more sense for the state. Why would a small business that's making, $100,000 in revenue a year pay the same as, Walmart? Doesn't make sense.
Right.
So,
and especially when those roads are basically torn by those big companies.
They're trucks.
They're trucks.
They're trucks. We have the highest. So there's a number of issues. We allow the highest weight for any trucking in the region and maybe even the country. We don't have enough money coming in to fix the roads. We don't, there's nothing there that's...
So there's a lack of judgment here.
Mm-hmm.
What about the premium of insurance? Michigan is the highest also, we saw.
Yeah, there's an issue there with the way the actual money that is used by the insurance companies to fix cars and so on is much lower. The actual issue there is that it's no fault, right? So the medical costs and the legal fights between folks are driving up the costs for insurance for everybody. I think we're 5 times higher than any other state, actually, in terms of our insurance.
So we pay too much.
And, that's something that there's been, fighting in the legislature over that so far, but nothing's been decided.
Absolutely not.
For me, I think there's a middle ground between the Republicans right now are pushing to completely get rid of no fault as a whole, and then there is a push to sort of leave it as is. I think there's a middle ground where you could find a way to work on, lowering the burden of sort of those medical fees.
I see.
And sort of finding a way there to lower the prices and, get a good compromise.
Lately, the liquor store owners lost their battle in court.
Yeah.
So how did that happen? All of a sudden, a judge ruled to basically take out the half-a-mile distant barrier between owning a liquor license, far away from one another. Why was this decision so harsh on the liquor store owners?
So what we're talking about here is the half-mile rule,
right?
Which is
it's been going on for 50 years.
Yeah, it's been a well-established rule in the state, and it's a way to protect small businesses from competition from major providers or stores like Walmart and stuff from pushing the little guys out and making sure that the little guys can compete. And what happened is the Liquor Control Board and the Attorney General Schuette have said that we don't like this rule anymore.
All of a sudden, they don't like it anymore.
Yes, my hunch is that the big, your Meijers, your Walmarts, your Krogers, they are interested in putting out their own gas stations. They're interested in opening up more stores that sell liquor.
So خليني أشرح لها إذا تسمح لي. الناس تتصور بأنه هذول راح يفيدون الجاز ستيشنز. هي مو كل الجاز stations are qualified and basically able to handle a liquor license. Maybe 10% 5%. البقية gas stations مال مايرز ووالمارت هم المؤهلة هم الحاضرة تتحمل liquor license. So معناته أنه هذا القانون ما دا يفيد الجاز ستيشنز أكثر ما دا يفيد المحلات الكبيرة بالجاز ستيشنات اللي عندهم، ولكن دا يأذي أصحاب الليكر ستورز الصغيرة اللي أبناء شعبنا صار لهم سنين يعيشون وربوا أولادهم وبعثوا أولادهم للكليات والجامعات من وراء هاي الأرباح اللي تخدم في أماكن حتى ما يوصلها لا وولمارت ولا مايرز. This is my concern. My concern is the community or some people in the community are trying to sell this idea that, well, they're benefiting gas stations, but they're not benefiting gas stations because a good number of those gas stations are not even equipped to handle liquor license because they have to go through some modifications, parking lot and what have you. Now, the sides or the people or the individuals or the business that are benefiting are the big guys.
Yeah.
And the judge ruled on that. So what are you going to do?
Well, we need a law. Like, we need to actually pass a law that will protect or enshrine this half-mile rule so that a court can't come in and say, well, we don't like this rule, we're going to get rid of it. Or, the Attorney General can't come in and say, you know what, I like donations from Myers, so we're going to get rid of this.
يعني لأنه ينطون تبرعات للأحزاب من المحلات الكبيرة. طيب. We have this situation that we just spoke about. We have another so unclear situation in our community, unclear law, which is the dispensaries and the marijuana growing at people's homes and houses. It's not being done or conducted or being operated under any law. It's just like wild west. And then what?
This is an issue that the reality is a lot of people in our community are in this business.
Yeah.
And
unfortunately.
But, it's something that is a problem because the state is unclear on what's happening. The federal government, we still don't really have an idea of what they're going to do with the Attorney General and Jeff Sessions and how they're going to shift from the Obama policy, which was leave it to the states to do what they want to do on this. It can cause a lot of problems. You're seeing a lot of raids. You're seeing a lot of inconsistency. You're seeing a lot of issues.
الشيء المدى افتهمه sorry يعني المقاطعة اسف to cut you off. الشيء المدى افتهمه something I don't understand. The federal law is against it. State law are raiding people. City laws are allowing ordinance. How foolish can we be? ايش قد احنا اغبياء؟ ما يصير هيجي. يعني which one is it? For God's sake, people are so confused. And guess what? To me, who's making the money? The bad guy that is for the money. It's not about medical marijuana. It's about the money. The house smells bad. The neighbor smells bad. Police can raid that place, make them pay whatever, confiscate whatever. Why do we have to put our people's life and reputation and our community in such a situation that is so unclear? Why?
It's someone came to me and said, should I get into the business right now? As a lawyer, I would suggest no, because of this confusion, the uncertainty. It's a risk.
What would you do? What kind of law?
Well, frankly, it's already on the ballot, for instance. So they're pushing to legalize it recreationally. My suggestion is that whatever the stigma is associated with it, you treat it the same way you treat alcohol. And from the state level, if they're going to legalize it anyways, why don't we put some parameters on it? Why don't we require strict licensing, strict regulations on how it's produced, how it's sold, and how it's consumed, and then tax it so that we have additional revenue coming into the state? If it's going to happen, why don't we make sure, number one, the business take over, number one. Number two, and if it's going to happen, regardless, why don't we use that money to fix our roads, for instance, or to fund our schools? If it's treated that way, I think it can overcome a lot of the problems. And if Michigan is clear on what they're going to do, and if we're clear as a state in terms of the government, in terms of what we expect, how the process goes with the cities, how it's going to be taxed, how that money is used, I think it will end up being okay. And what will happen with the federal government is the more states that legalize it, and that's the trend right now, is every state that it goes on the ballot, it gets legalized. Once enough states do it, you'll see the federal government turn. And you're already seeing Democrats in the Senate pushing bills to remove it from the classified substance list, or basically legalize it. And when that happens, I think we as a state need to be prepared, and we as business owners, to the extent that they want to be involved in this industry, that they're protected.
When is the primary, as we said?
The primary is August 7th.
Okay. What are you asking your people to do?
I'm asking our people to, number one, organize. Number two, to get more involved in their local politics, in their state politics, because you can't have a situation, for instance, where, why are our local police working with ICE to detain our community members, right? We're 2% of the state. We should have more of a voice in what's going on. And there are a number of issues. I mean, even if, let's look at some immigration legislation that was put in the last 6 months. None of it's passed yet, but legislators are putting the stuff in. There is one law that someone proposed that would allow racial profiling, where if
يعني الشرطة يوقفك لأنه أنت شكلك كلداني أو شكلك مكسيكي. الشرطة يوقفك.
Yeah, they can stop you and then they can ask you for your papers. That's racial profiling. It's something that...
بس إذا واحد أبيض ما يوقفه.
لا. No, they wouldn't. It's someone that looks, if they look Arab, or if they look like they're Suraya, or if they look Mexican, they can stop them and ask them for their, it's a legislator put this law in. It hasn't gone anywhere yet, but these are the kind of things that you're seeing, and that we need to have a voice in to protect ourselves.
And that kind of makes me a little upset.
Yeah.
Because some police officers are Suraya, some police officers are Arab, some police officers are Mexicans. So this is the same guy is forced to stop somebody else that looks like him.
Mm-hmm.
That's BS.
Yeah, I would totally agree. I mean, stopping someone on what they look like doesn't make sense. I mean, if someone is doing something wrong, sure, stop them. But if they're not, well, why pull them over? That is the definition of racism, and it's something that, we would face.
And that opens doors for the so many undignified police officers. There's a lot of police officers that basically they violate a lot of people's rights. I've seen it. I witnessed it. I lived it. I was one of the victims. Mm-hmm. And those police officers will enjoy such a thing protected by the law. Before the primary, we would like to do a couple of more interviews.
Yeah.
And maybe next time take questions and answers of questions from the listeners and maybe answers by you. So now we're in April. We'll do another one in June and July.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready for that?
I'm absolutely ready for that. And there's one other thing that I kind of want to talk about,
sure,
if you don't
go
mind.
Ahead. Absolutely.
There is, I'm a Democrat.
Right.
Our community, you mentioned, mostly votes Republican.
Right.
I think, a lot of people sort of ask me, why did I pick the party? Why am I doing this this way? And so I kind of want to sort of talk about a little bit about what I view our politics should shift to, and why I think that, why I'm a part of this party.
Right. And
so for me, party affiliation is less important than what the politicians promise and actually do for you.
Right.
So we as a community should value accountability. And when I say that, what I mean is if a politician says they're going to do something for you specifically, and you give them your vote, and then they don't do that thing, you should vote them out.
Yeah,
regardless of party.
I think all the politicians right now, because of the disaster we have on the roads, mm-hmm. they should be voted out because they have done nothing in the last 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 years. Why are they in the office? The school system is in a desperate situation as far as money goes. Now we just learned that there will be some increase for FTEs. The roads are so bad. Our insurance is the highest in the nation. We have a wild west law about so-called medical marijuana. So those politicians that are there now, especially from the communities that represent the Middle Eastern communities, they should be all voted out because they have done nothing.
I agree. And look, when the deportations happened too,
they said nothing.
We put money and votes into those politicians.
Right.
And they didn't. They put their heads in the sand.
Right.
They didn't come to our aid.
Absolutely not.
And they're from the party that we've affiliated with for 30, 40 years.
Right.
And to me, that's a problem. We've put so much effort into them. They should at least come to us in our time of need.
Well, running in the east side of where our community live, I think they're going to be in love with you. يمكن أنا متأكد راح يحبوك هواية، خصوصا لما يكون نيثن يعني بجانبك، لأنه نيثن محبوب جدا مثلك. ونادين الجالية تحبهم هواية، نضل نادين ونيثن شافوا شلون اشتغلوا ليل نهار وانت وياهم، بحيث اكو ايام some days you guys didn't even sleep.
No, yeah, there were a lot of late nights. There was a lot of tears. There's a lot going on.
Pizza delivery at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it was more shawarma, but yeah, I mean, this is I think it's an opportunity for our community. We need to have representation. We're not going to have. The reality is, if I'm not elected, we're not going to have a voice in the state house.
أنا راح أقول شغلة بالعربي.
Okay.
الشخصية, the personality is very important. شخصية, ظهور, the presentation of the person is very important. It is as important as the person's dignity. You have been known to be a dignified person. You are a man of your word, dignified, عندك يعني تحمل شرف الكلمة يمك عندها شرف، وعندك شخصية وظهور لطيف جدا. هذه تمثل يعني المقومات القيادية. It represent the ingredients or the elements of leadership. You guys are the type of leadership our community need. Look, if someone failed once, do it again. Now it's your turn. You got to do it. And we will support you 100% because you have the elements and the ingredients and the recipe to basically take our word to Lansing and not only serve our community only, serve the whole population of the United States, of Michigan, for that matter.
Absolutely. I mean, my parents were very influential in my life. My dad's a shemasha. My mother prays all day, every day.
And he's got a degree.
Yeah, he's an engineer, electrical engineer, and then he has his master's in theology too. So we discuss this kind of stuff all the time. And they taught me to live my faith instead of talking about my faith. Right. So for me, we should have a focus on the poor. We should have a focus on the sick. We should have a focus on taking care of those that need our help the most.
Right.
And I think in my life so far, I've tried to do that, whether it was Irutha and helping the refugees that were coming here and making sure that those kids were taken care of in the schools, whether it was Nathan and I's work when we worked with the Obama administration to get a law passed to get training and arms to arm militias in Nineveh.
I remember that.
Yeah, to defend our communities. Whatever it is, and now moving to politics to not only protect our community, but to protect the greater Sterling Heights, the greater Utica, and the greater Shelby Township communities. I think it's important that you have people that stand by their word, that say the truth, even if the truth causes them a lot of trouble, because I will always say the truth, and it does get me in trouble because people don't like it all the time.
الحقيقة مرة.
Yeah.
ولكن علمتني أن أكرهها. يعني reality it's bitter, and life taught me to hate truth, but I have to be truthful.
Yeah, I take a lot of flack for getting up there, and I mean, in May,
right?
I had just gotten back from Chicago. Nathan and I were actually talking about the deportations that we had been seeing in the Muslim community, in the Mexican community, and so on. And we had a sense from the Muslim bans and when Iraq was taken off the list that something was going to happen. And we both looked around. We noticed that there was a deportation of one member of our community, and we looked into it. We made some calls, and we found that there was something bad was going to happen. So I got on Facebook. I said to the community, we have to deal with this issue. We have to talk about this issue. It's coming. We're not going to be spared from this, even if we voted to put this president in place. I was ridiculed, but it was the truth, because a month later they came down and they started to round up hundreds and hundreds of our community.
Wissam, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, we'll be talking soon.
Of course.
أعزائي المستمعين، نشوفكم قريبا إن شاء الله، ونلتقي مرة أخرى في برنامج لقاء ضمن برنامج أسعد كلاشو. من ديترويت إلى ستيرلينغ هايتس، ويست بلومفيلد، ويست ساوثفيلد، تروي ويوتيكا وشلبي تاونشيب. من ماديسون هايتس وهيزل بارك، اوك بارك، بلومفيلد هيلز إلى كومرز تاونشيب، ليفونيا، ديربورن وديربورن هايتس. من هامترامك، توليدو أوهايو، وينزر وتورونتو بكندا، جاكسونفيل، أورلاندو وتامبا، شيكاغو، سان دييغو، فينيكس بأريزونا، لوس أنجلوس بكاليفورنيا، ساكرامنتو عاصمة كاليفورنيا، إلى دول أوروبا ومنها إلى الشرق الأوسط. إلى بلدنا الحبيب بكل مدنه، وهكذا إلى البعد الأسترالي. برنامج بسيط ومتواضع، محلي جدا وبطرق بسيطة، يصل إلى كل هذه المناطق في كافة أنحاء العالم. إنها نعمة الرب. أعود وياكم مرة أخرى أيها السيدات والسادة، وأكيد آسف أنه اللقاء كان مطول مع المحامي وسام نعوم المرشح لعضو مجلس نواب ولاية ميشيغان، لكن حبيت أنه تعرفوا الرجل عن قرب وراح يطرق أبوابكم ويجي يحكي ويا الكل. يعني he will be walking the side roads, streets, knocking on doors to introduce himself to all of you. الآن راح نباشر بما تبقى من الساعة الثانية بما يخص أو ما يجري أو ما يحصل أو الحالة في دولة كان اسمها العراق. يعني هي صحيح على الخارطة اسمها العراق، صحيح مثلا على الأمور الرسمية العالمية اسمها بعد العراق، ولكن بالحقيقة لا يوجد عراق. في بلد كان اسمه العراق اليوم يحكموه عصابات شردة مالوتية، ومن دون أي خجل أو مستحى يرشحون نفسهم لانتخابات أصلا هي مو انتخابات. هذه عملية سمسرة، أيهما أقل شرفا هو اللي يرشح، وهكذا. ليش؟ لأنه كان هناك بلد اسمه عراق من قبل 2003، بغض النظر عن من نحن. إيش قد ما تكون أنت معادي لما كان قبل 2003 أسمعك في أكثر من مرة تقول كان اكو عراق. إيش قد ما أنت معادي، إيش قد ما أنت كاره لما كان قبل 2003 أسمعك بين الحين والآخرة تقول والله كان اكو عراق. ما ممكن كنت تقول هذا الكلام قبل 2003 حتى إلى قبل كم سنة، لكن الواقع يفرض نفسه مثل ما هو الواقع اليوم. هو اليوم يمثل عيد ميلاد رئيس العراق قبل 2003، اليوم عيد ميلاد صدام حسين. أكيد الناس منهم يفرحوا له أو يترحمون عليه، وناس يسبونه. أنت بس باوع على نفسك بالمراية. اليوم أنت تريد انتخابات، أيهما أكثر وطنية، أنت ولا هو؟ اللي كان حامي البلد، مأمن البلد، موفر للبلد. صح مروا بظروف صعبة، صح مروا بظروف قاسية، صح أخذوا إجراءات عنجهية متغطرسة، كلها صح، كلها صح، كلها صح، كلها صح. سؤال اسأل نفسك، أنت شو مسوي؟ أنت شو مسوي؟ هذا واحد، قياسا بي وبغيره. وثالثا، ليش أنت تريد انتخابات هسه؟ وتعرف، وانت تعرف، انت تعرف بأنه انت رايح للانتخابات خاطر تبقى حالة البلد مثل ما هي تحت غطاء شنو؟ تحت غطاء شنو؟ انتخب الجيد يا جيد. أيهما جيد؟ شوف الكتل المرشحة، الكتل الكبيرة اللي راح تسوق كل الخرفان، لأنه هذول قواويد فراح يقودون على البقية. ما تقبل غلط. واللي يقبل بهكذا نوع من الولاء فشي يكون، شو نسميه؟ هذا هو تحليلي للموضوع. شلون ما تلزمها أحللها وتطلع أنت الخجلان، وتطلع مقرف بمواقف تريد تشجع الناس على الانتخابات. والله واحد من عندهم قال له الواحد، قال له لو ما أعرفك كان سبيتك وغلطت عليك، تقول لي أروح أنتخب؟ كل عقلك أنت شنو؟ أني شايفني قدامك، يجوز أنت، أما أني لا. رفضناها بالبداية، قلنا ثاني مرة يجوز بها خير، لكن لا، الطامة كبرت وكبرت وكبرت وكبرت، والآن هم سائرين على درب الحرامية والبواقي. الساعة الثالثة أيها الأحبة، اللي يحب يناقش هذا الموضوع. بالمناسبة أنا راح أكون على أكثر من قناة بدءا من يوم الاثنين. So I will be appearing on more than one TV channel, satellite channel, throughout the Middle East and in America, Canada and Mexico, through Nielsat, Galaxy, and also راح أكون على الفضائية الآرامية لمدة ساعتين، ومن ثم بعدها 3 ساعات. ويكون هناك ضيوف، منهم من بريطانيا ومنهم من العراق ومنهم من عمان، يناقشون موضوع كلمة الانتخابات، هل المفروض تحصل أو المفروض تقاطع؟ كل واحد له رأيه، وأنا أكيد راح أبدي رأيي بالموضوع وتعرفون موقفي شنو. راح أكون خلال هذا الأسبوعين القادمة على أكثر من 3-4 فضائيات تبث عن طريق النايلسات وجالكسي يعني أقمار صناعية أخرى، وتنزل من عدة فضائيات في الشرق الأوسط، وراح أكيد أسجلها ونعرضها. يعني we will broadcast it ourselves through my Facebook, which is watched by thousands and thousands of people. الساعة الثالثة اللي راح تبتدي بعد 5-6 دقائق راح يكون لي افتتاحية بها، وأيضا نناقش هذا الموضوع، موضوع الانتخابات. واللي يحب أنه يناقش أي شيء بموضوع الانتخابات هنا محليا أو بعض الأمور المحلية أيضا على الرحب والسعة، وموضوع السيد الرئيس دونالد ترامب وجدول المملوء بزيارته إلى ميشيغان، استقبال الرئيس الفرنسي، مستشار الألمانية، وأيضا تهيئته للقاء الرئيس الكوري من بعد ما اجى إلى درب الطاعة. مواضيع مهمة جدا. رقم الهاتف هنا بالاستوديو هو 248-557 3300 248-557 3300. اللي يحب أيضا يتصل عن طريق الفيسبوك يكتب على الشاشة لو سمحتم أي سؤال أحاول أقرأ إذا سنحت لي الفرصة. أفرح بمشاركتكم وأشكركم. أيضا اللي يحب يواصل مع الصفحة الجديدة، الصفحة المتابعة للفيسبوك، لأنه كل الفيسبوك معبم يعني بالزملاء والزميلات، وأيضا الصفحة، والآن الويب سايت اللي جددته مرة ثانية، ويب سايت حلو يعني الصفحة الإلكترونية الخاصة بي شيء جميل حلو، asaadkalasho.com. كل الفعاليات تنزل بيها. ذكرت لكم في بداية البرنامج بأنه مدارسنا راح تكون طول السنة August 8th all year round school until June 30th. نشاطات حلوة بديعة جميلة جدا، أعداد هائلة غفيرة، وأكو مكان ل50-60 طالب للسنة القادمة تقريبا. أتمنى أنه تستفيدوا أنتم، خصوصا المناطق ساوثفيلد وأوك بارك وهيزل بارك وماديسون هايتس وورن ستيرلينغ هايتس. هاي المناطق لها سمعة غير سليمة غير جيدة بالمدارس. استفيدوا أنتم، لأنه ترى الغريب ده يستفيد، وإحنا أبوابنا مفتوحة للكل من دون أي تمييز. أهلا بالجميع. من بعد ثواني إن شاء الله ودقيقة وشوي أخذ وقفة لبدء الساعة 3، ويكون لي مقدمة للساعة 3، وأرجع وياكم من بعد قليل.
لو صارت عندنا ديمقراطية ما راح يفوز ولا ينجح إلا المطاوعة والبذل، وساعتها تعدوا على الديمقراطية.
طيب وين المشكلة؟ يعني لازم نطاوع البدو، في الأخير اللي اختاروهم الناس، والناس اللي حطتهم يعني.
الناس ما اختاروا شيء، الناس ما لهم خيار يا حبيبي. السنة يمشون ورا كلام المطاوع حتى لو غلط، والشيعة ينتظرون رأي المرجعية علشان التصويت، والبدو يكفيك واحد يكفيك بس يحذف عقاله تجيك أصوات القبيلة كلها في نص ساعة وتعالى تحلها. هذه شعوب ما ينفع مع هذه شعوب فاقدة الأهلية. شو قاعد تقول أنت؟
نطردهم ذول الحكمة وباسم الله وبالدم القاع غرقوها، ذول اللي ما قادوا دولة وقاع أهل البيت باعوها، ذول الكفر وبوطاني وأوطان الغير عبدوها، ويجون بظهر الدبابة وظهور الناس كسروها. علماكم خلص عمري لمن عايش ما أدري، عليكم ما بذر شعري نحو التغيير الجذري، ذولي اللي ما بيهم غير